Podcast Network. Hockey is more than a game, it's a lifestyle. It's you, the diehard supportive fans, your favorite players who are on the team you cheer for, and the organization who supports them.
The companies that make your gear, bags, and beer league sweaters. The hockey moms and hockey dads, and everything else that makes this house of hockey your home. Come on in. I'm Breezy.
And I'm Rae.
And this is our house.
Welcome to the House of Hockey podcast. This is episode 121. I'm one of your hosts, Rae.
And I'm your other host, Breezy.
And I'm back in what Antoni calls the Bat Cave.
She would call it the Bat Cave.
I know. And got the new set.
Oh my. Look at that backdrop. Love it.
Who do you see?
You and me and Torts and Matty Boy. And what do you have, like two tickets there?
Those are when I went to the 2015 Stanley Cup playoffs Western Conference series with the Blackhawks and the Ducks. So
That's cool.
New backdrop.
Love it.
We've got to discuss the Central Division this week.
Yeah.
The Western Conference, we're going to finish our thoughts on the Western Conference, tackle the Central Division teams, and then a couple other little stories at the end to cover. And you doing all right? You doing good?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I had a cough, so I just muted myself real quick.
It's officially the official start of the season.
It is. And you know what? It is a great day because the Preds are the very top because they have 4 points ahead of everybody else because they just beat the Sharks in both games with the Global Series. So that was really cool.
Coming home with 4 points is he the captain, Yossi?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, I don't know. I hesitated on that.
Oh man, I gotta polish you up a little bit. We got to get you ready for this season.
Seriously, guys, I'm a little rusty, but I've come a little more prepared this week. So I promise. I'm more dialed in. I'm dialed in. Yeah, that was exciting. That series getting for Yossi to be playing back overseas, and
it was, yeah, it was super emotional for him. And I guess while we're talking about the Preds, I guess we can just kind of get into our little thing with him. Well, I guess I don't really have a whole lot going on with Yossi other than he's still the best. But the Preds added Nino Niederreiter, who was also a Swiss-born player. So he was there too, obviously playing. It was super emotional for the both of them. And then they added more depth this offseason with Ryan McDonagh. So
Stanley Cup champion from
Stanley Cup
Lightning.
Yeah. And Jágr did the ceremonial puck drop. How cool is that?
That guy.
That guy's incredible.
I don't think he's going to play this year, right?
He said that he didn't say he wasn't going to play. He just said he hasn't had time to practice.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Busy doing other things.
Yeah. I think there was an article I read where he said that his importance for the team right now wasn't to be a player, it was to be an owner.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, huh. And then he said that he didn't have time to practice. So he didn't say he wasn't going to play at all. It's just he hasn't had time. So we're still going to probably see it.
Well, yeah. I feel like he's going to play until somebody is like, we are not letting you play anymore.
Right.
But who's going to tell Jágr you can't play anymore? Who's going to be that person that says that? I don't know. Not me.
I have no idea. Not me. Not me at all.
Sir. No, sir, Bob. No way.
No way.
How do you think your Preds are going to do this season aside from the hot start?
I'm pretty optimistic here. I think that they could do pretty well. I think that they want to do better than they did last season. I think they had high expectations and they let themselves down. And I think they don't want to go through that again. So, and yes, last season was kind of still a little wonky. So I think that they can grow from things that shouldn't have happened and didn't go so well. And I really think there's going to be a really good connection on all the lines this season. And I think that they're definitely going to do better than last year. That's what I'm going to say. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Yotes, the Arizona Coyotes.
Let's do it.
Okay. So I did a little research for everybody because, I didn't like to say it that way. As we all know, they are playing at Arizona State University, borrowing their hockey arena, their college arena, which holds about 5,000, I believe, was the last number I saw of fans. So I thought, I wonder how much they're charging for tickets, because it's a 5,000 seat arena. So what is the team doing? Are they charging more, or are they charging the same price as they would in, at their previous arena? Turns out tickets are running about $180 a pop to go to a game. And their games are not anywhere near sold out. And it's only 5,000 seat arena. Again, I could be wrong with that number, but I think it's pretty close to something like that. Not sold out. And their first or second home game, like minimum ticket price, even all the way up in the back, which is basically like you're still in an incredible seat, was like $200 a seat. Would you pay $200 to see the Yotes in that arena, in that setting?
Yeah. I mean,
that's more than you'd pay. That's more than you would have paid before.
Yeah, but
that's like double.
Okay, but look at where you're sitting, right? So like you're going to be close. You're going to hear more, see more, feel more, and they're going to be playing another NHL team. So like, who else would you be seeing? Like, you're not necessarily. Yes, you're going to go see the Yotes, but like, that's like it's an experience you're never really going to have.
God, it's hard for me to want to pay that much.
You can agree with me on that one. Oh my God, if they were playing the Blackhawks, you wouldn't go, or you wouldn't want to be that close to Matt Barzal when they're playing the Islanders.
I mean, I would want to be that close to Matt Barzal.
Exactly. And you're not going to get an opportunity to spend $200 and be that close to him at anywhere else.
That's true. But like, what's the concessions like? Am I going to get a good meal, or is it like hot dogs?
I don't know. When we talked to Zilch, he said that the Goals have like the best food in their arena, so they probably have good stuff.
Well, it's a college, though.
Yeah.
I don't know what college is like anymore, Breezy. I've been to college in so long. It's so far removed. I'm sure it's like way better these days.
They probably apparently they have like little robots on college campuses now that like you order food from, they like drive down.
What a world, man. What a world.
Kind of wild.
Uber Eats. We didn't have that. We only had like Domino's was like, that was our only option. You had to call on the landline. We had a landline in our dorm room. Yeah. Oh my God. Hashtag.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, I was just a little surprised that that's how they ended up sort of pricing out their tickets. And I was also surprised to see that a lot of at least the first, couple games weren't fully sold out yet. I hope that's not a sign of things to come long-term for the franchise and the fan base, but
yeah,
well, that's what's happening there out west. And shout out to friend of the pod, former guest of the pod, Lindsay Fry, Olympian. She works with the Coyotes, and she just earned a Best Buddies Champion nomination. She's trying to raise $30,000 to help support individuals with intellectual and development disabilities. That girl does it all. Like,
she really does.
She does play-by-play, I think, radio or color. I'm not sure which one for the Yotes. Radio, right? Or is it for the television broadcast? I can't figure that out, but
I don't know. It's in my mind.
I don't quote us on it, but she does something important broadcasting wise for the Yotes, and she runs camps and she gives back and she does so many great things. So check out her Instagram and go support her and show Lindsay Fry some love. But
yeah. And speaking of the Coyotes, so they just played their final preseason game against Vegas. And they played it in Boise, Idaho, at the Idaho Central Arena, which is home to the Idaho Steelheads of the ECHL. So that will put them in a home game environment, because I just looked it up. The Idaho Central Arena has a capacity of 5,000 people.
There you go.
Which is kind of cool. But the unique thing about this arena, I was watching a little bit of it yesterday, and the arena has hotel rooms located on top.
What?
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Cool.
The only place that I know that has hotel rooms that you can actually rent out would be the Toronto Blue Jays stadium up in Toronto. Like you can stay in hotel rooms up there and overlook the field.
That's
so
cool.
This kind of reminded me of it, right? But then I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I did a little research on the Steelheads, because I was sick, right?
Research.
So
you did some
research.
Yes,
little research. So the Steelheads have never missed a playoff time between the WCHL and the ECHL since their inception in the 1997-1998 year, right? And they've appeared in 3 Kelly Cups and hoisted the cup in 2004 and 2007 while producing 26 players into the NHL. So they're affiliated with the Dallas Stars, and the team plays 26 home games in the arena, and they welcome over 30,000 fans a year.
That's insane.
Sorry, 300,000 fans, not 30,000. 300,000 fans.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So the Coyotes have a lot of room for growth.
From fan base in Boise, Idaho.
Well, and just in general, if an ECHL team can do that,
one would think that the Yotes could do that.
They can do it. They can do it.
I mean, first of all, I didn't know there was a team in Boise, Idaho until just now. I mean, I don't really follow, I don't have I have never really looked at all the ECHL teams and looked on a map where they live, where they're based. So I didn't know that.
It's pretty cool.
I think that's really cool.
So now I just want to do a little bit more research on some of these little arenas all around and just see what they're all about. Because hotel rooms on top of an arena, that is so cool.
That's super cool. I bet you they'd be really cold though.
Well, I mean, there's insulated. Come on.
Bad joke. Bad joke.
Bad joke.
Bad joke.
Bad.
I think that would be really cool to stay at that hotel. The Padres in downtown San Diego, depending on where you stay, you can see into their
that's right.
baseball stadium.
That's right.
Or there's a lot of rooftop bars in the area, like in Chicago at that other team that I don't speak of. You can watch the game from rooftop bars. I don't know anymore. I don't care about that team. Let's talk about a team I do care about though, the Chicago Blackhawks.
All right. Let's bring it on.
Okay. This is on the record. I will not discuss any theories moving forward of where or what is going to happen with Kane and Toews this season or at the end of this season. I am only going to wait until an official announcement is made by the Blackhawks or either respective player on what's going to happen to them. I'm just going to enjoy the fact that they are still in a Blackhawks uniform, and that's it.
Okay.
That's fantastic. My stance. Nobody asked me what I think is going to happen. I don't want to talk about it. All that rumor nonsense was making me nuts. I was like, I don't want Kane to go to Dallas. No, and then I was like, I can't. So I will not talk about any rumors. It will only be when there is a decision made that I will offer my thoughts. And then hopefully all of you listening will offer your condolences to me.
Okay.
If they leave. See, because then here's the but what if they stay, Rachel?
No. You said you weren't going to do this.
Exactly. Because I want to spare you, Breezy, and I also want to spare myself from this like emotional turmoil.
Oh yeah.
But
it could get pretty nasty.
Yeah. So here's the last we heard was that, and then this is it. This is it. We're going to just hit the baseline and be done with this. Kane wants to stay and has had no talk with friends or family about being traded. Toews had conversations, but nothing went past that. Blackhawks have a new head coach. We have not performed well at all in preseason games, which doesn't necessarily mean anything, because depending on their strategy of what they're trying to do is get, some other guys on the ice. I don't know. But I think we're going to perform very poorly again this year, possibly worse than the Yotes this season. I wouldn't be surprised. So I'm setting the bar as low as possible so that even if we're like second to last in the Central, I'll feel good about myself and my boys. But I'll always support the team. You know what I mean? We're just not in a great place right now.
Not in a great place.
We're just not in a great place. We're hitting a rough patch in our relationship.
Oh no. Well,
we're going to need to go to some couples therapy and talk about the decisions and the trauma and the things that have happened in the last 10 years.
Yikes.
Okay, so that's what I got to say about that.
Okay. Well, I don't really have much to say. I'm gonna
let's move on to that. You can say set your record on what you want to say about the Blackhawks now, because I'll talk about the team, but those trade rumors and nonsense, I can't get involved.
Yeah, well, Seth Jones said that he has zero regrets signing a long-term deal with them, so that's a positive sign. The Hawks have lost quite a few people too that were pretty surprising. They're really going to be leaning on some individuals that maybe they haven't leaned on so much. So it's going to be
Look
interesting.
At you putting it nicely.
Yeah, you don't want to. I'm trying to be sensitive towards you too.
Listen, I know that we have a very rough road ahead, so it's okay.
I do think that they could probably do some good things, maybe come the trade deadline if things aren't doing, what they want them to do, which maybe they're hoping to bank in on some trade deadline things. So, I think it's probably going to be a little rough. They'll probably have some really surprising games. But I just think that they're just going through the ringer right now.
Big time, baby. Big time.
Yeah. So nothing really too much on the record other than yikes.
That's the end. We're done now. No, yikes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go cry in the corner. Let's talk about a team who is a lot better than the Blackhawks, which I almost just threw up in my mouth saying, which would be the Colorado Avalanche, because they did win the Stanley Cup. They are ranked number 1 by the NHL, by NHL.com as far as team rankings go. And they've got a lot of their core from this last year returning. 10 forwards, 5 defensemen. They have a new goalie, though, or Darcy Kemper isn't there, so Alexander
I'm terrible with names.
Gorgiev?
Sounds good to me.
I haven't listened to his name yet. I haven't heard his name yet from an announcer or looked it up, but so that could be interesting. But the article also pointed out that Darcy Kemper wasn't really wasn't as an instrumental piece in their game. Obviously a goalie is important, but their defense was so strong that as long as he was solid enough, they were able to perform. And I'm sure everybody is saying that the Avs are going to win again this year, and I have to listen to this all over again for a whole nother season. That's fine. What do you think?
I don't think the Avs are going to win again this year, and I'll put that on record. But
hot take.
No, I mean, they're still going to be good, right?
Mhm.
I that's weird about Kemper. I think that he did a phenomenal job. So to say kind of something like that, I think is a little bit of a dig towards him.
Yeah.
I want to see how he's going to come and perform for the Caps this year, which we'll talk about probably more next week. But yeah, I think that the Avs are still going to be good, but I don't think that they're gonna take it again. I think other teams are going to be hungry, and they've learned from the Avs from last season, and they're gonna take some tips from them.
Yeah. There's been some
Yeah.
big changes in some of the other divisions that we'll talk about as to maybe why you think that.
Oh my God. I'm just gonna say this right now, little teaser. The Sens, what is
Yeah.
happening?
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, we'll move on.
The Stars, the Dallas Stars, they lost
Yeah.
Klingberg, but they locked
Mm-hmm.
in Jason Robertson. But the more important piece of the Stars,
Breaking hearts
every
everywhere.
hearts are broken, posters are ripped up with X's through them. Sagan got engaged.
Sagan did get engaged. And it's funny because I saw the video he obviously had posted, and then there was like a bunch of pictures that were like coming out. They're like, wait, weren't they already engaged? Because apparently he had proposed to her on a boat because she was wearing a different dress and he was wearing something different. And then you have this whole video and it doesn't seem like she's like that shocked. So I'm like, is this a
Huh.
conspiracy theory? Like,
Did you go down like a Reddit thread for this?
oh
Like,
yeah. And then I was like, I gotta know what's going on. So then I obviously ended up on Reddit and I was like, oh my God, this is too much. But congratulations to him because he looks happy.
he does. And
He's settled down.
hopefully even healthier this season, physically
Oof.
as well.
Yeah.
Coming off all that surgery last season or last year or whatever that was.
Yeah. He was in
But
some pent up shape.
yeah, I think the Stars will be like mid-level team this year. I don't know that they'll make a playoff run. Maybe again. I don't know. Did they make the playoffs last year? Is
Uh,
everything
y- they
totally
did.
blurs together?
I think that they're going to make probably a pretty hefty push. It's so weird. I know we're talking about this before the season even starts because this
I
obviously is
know.
being recorded prior, but just based off of individuals on the team, I think that they can still do pretty well. Klingberg, I think when you mentally get to a state where you are requesting to be traded, and he did last season, that
Mhm.
whether he was mentally there or not, he still performed. But did he perform to his capabilities last season? And the Stars still did really well. Um, that's kind of like my mindset on it. When a player has a trade request in, it's like how hard are they really working?
For sure. I mean, I would venture to say that they are working, and they would say that they are always performing to their best. But I think there's just a tiny little piece of effort in the mind
Mm-hmm.
that is just not full heart and soul. Maybe full
Right.
effort, maybe full speed on the ice,
Yeah.
full, back check for, like they're doing all the things, but the
Mm-hmm.
heart piece is missing. And when that's
Right.
missing, you're not going to get the full thing that you need to win a Stanley Cup.
And I think that's a good example with Chikrin, right? Like, how long has he been wanting to move? And then there's all these rumors where he might be getting moved here, might be getting moved there. And then he's like, well, now I'm not moving. And then he's like, wait, maybe I am moving. Now I want to be moved by the trade deadline. Now I want,
Yeah, it
and
creates
I
a
mean,
tough team
and then he
dynamic.
was injured. Then he got injured. So yeah, I think that it's a mental thing when it gets to that point.
This week's episode of the House of Hockey podcast is brought to you by
Hockey fans. It's finally time to hit the ice again. And thanks to DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, you're in for the season of a lifetime. New customers can bet $5 on any team and get $200 in free bets if they win. If that wasn't enough excitement, you can turn small bets into bigger payouts with same game parlays. Combine multiple bets like which team will win, how many goals will be scored, and more for your shot at an even bigger payout. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. You can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN. Bet $5 on any NHL team to win their game and get $200 in free bets if they do. That's code THPN for the Hockey Podcast Network at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Okay, we have to talk about the Minnesota Wild. First of all, I'm still, like, despite them being in my division, like, I'm still a big proponent, like, cheerleader for the Wild. Like, I just think they're such an underrated team in general, and I think they've got a lot of great elements to them. So first off, let's don't forget that they ended up with Marc-Andre Fleury after, like, he had a brief stint with the Blackhawks. So they've got a stellar veteran goaltender. I hate saying veteran, but like well-experienced goaltender. But we have to talk about Kirill Kaprizov. Okay, this story is wild, and I highly recommend that you all go read the article in The Athletic, because there's I have a 5 paragraphs of notes because it's so convoluted. But you might have remembered in the summer that there was a news report that he was wanted back in Russia for having a fake military ID, and then maybe it was expired, and his military history, like his time in the military, which is different in Russia than it is in the US. They're required, I think, at a certain age, they have to do time, et cetera, et cetera. There was no clarification in the article on what all that truly was. But again, it was a lot. So basically, he almost didn't make it back to the US. And okay, I'm going to read this part to you so I don't butcher it. So when that whole story came out this summer about Kaprizov's military history, he panicked when that broke and went back to Russia. I think he was posted up in Turkey because that's where he needed to get his work visa. I'll get to that in a second. So he went back to Russia, but the Minnesota Wild were able to work with some powerful attorneys in Washington, D.C., who had connections inside the U.S. government and at many of the U.S. consulates in Europe to get him here. And that's all they say. Period, the end. Full on U.S. CIA shit to get Kaprizov back into the U.S. and out of Russia. Now, I believe his brother and either his mom or his dad are still in Russia. So he went home to see them. And he was trying to get back into the U.S. by hanging out in Turkey. And then he got turned down trying to come in through one other country. They wouldn't accept his passport through. The guy went through hell. And talk about fear and not knowing if you what's going to happen to you, and if you can get even back to Russia or home. And so the whole thing was because last season with COVID, a lot of the European players and Russian players, they played last season without work visas. Because here's some more crazy shit for you. They had an exception the league negotiated with the U.S. government to allow them to play. Gary does not mess around. Everybody should be grateful for Gare Bear and the lawyer mindset he has. sidebar, these players received a special stamp from U.S. Customs and Border that would allow them to work in the U.S. as long as they got physical visas when they played in Canada. And then so Kaprizov tried to do that. Like the article outlines it all. It's really complicated. You really should just read it because I'm not sure if I even explained this very well. But basically, he made it back to the Wild like with a sigh of relief and a whole lot of stuff. And if you're a Wild fan, even if you any fan should be like super appreciative of that guy because he's not only ridiculously talented, but the hardships and the life and the things he's gone through just to come back here and play hockey for our entertainment should be respected like 5,000%.
That is wild. No pun intended. Like, holy crap.
It's like something out of the Detroit Red Wings days with the Russian Five. Have you seen that documentary?
Yeah.
It's like that where they were like sneaking the players out of Russia. And that was during a completely different time.
Not a good time.
I mean, Russia's in the middle of a war right now, but like that was a different time too. And people were leaving their families and like, I mean, this is something that I think a lot of us who are, born in America or even Canada are not immigrants, that we cannot even fathom what that's like and the sacrifices they have to make just to, pursue something they love. And I mean, it's just, that story is bananas to me. And the players on the team in the article were like, hesitant to message him because they were worried about surveillance on his phone. Yeah, spies, basically. So,
Russian spies.
Real life, like this should be turned into a movie.
This is like Stranger Things, but like hockey edition.
I know. Sorry, that was really long-winded, but that was a really complicated story. But he's back, and everybody should watch out because the Wild are going to be really good this season.
Yeah. Oof. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
We can move on now to the Blues.
All right. So we got some news with the Blues here. We have, let me read our notes here. I'm like flabbergasted by this whole.
Sorry, I'll go. So the Blues, they've still got a lot of the core of their players from when they won the Cup in 2019. A lot of those, yeah. I mean, they've got a good amount.
Yeah.
Of the boys there. Binnington, he runs hot and cold as we've now seen.
Yeah.
I mean, he shut out the Blackhawks like 6 or 7-0. So, he's a good goaltender when he's. But it's the Blackhawks.
Oh, that felt good. Anyway, moving on.
I know. I have to make jokes about it now. I can't be all sensitive. The Blues
you didn't get mad at me for crushing on the Hawks, and you admitted that the Kings are going to be fun to watch this season. We're off to a great start.
It's going to be a great year for me, guys.
It's a great year.
The Blues have made it to the playoffs the last 2 years. They struggled against the Avs, so that's their kryptonite. And
everyone struggled against the Avs.
But they've got content. Yeah. They've got the contention. They've got the ability to do it.
They do, yeah. They're still going to be hot.
Yeah, they can't be counted out.
No, definitely not.
And then the Jets.
There's not New York
going
Jets,
on. The Winnipeg Jets.
Oh boy,
that's a joke from off season, guys.
Yeah.
But sidebar. I don't know why that is that I think when I hear the Jets, I think of the New York Jets, like the football team.
Yeah.
I don't even follow football.
Popular. The Jets are just probably more popular in general than the Winnipeg Jets, which reminds me, someone had posted on Facebook that they're trying to bring an NHL team back to Atlanta. And because that's where obviously the Jets ended up becoming a team because of the Thrashers. But I don't know.
almost
So
said
whenever
Falcons. I was like,
I
the
did
Atlanta Falcons.
the
Like,
Falcons.
that's not right, Rachel.
No, that's not right. So it's funny how the Jets are just coming up in my feed right now, and I don't know why, because there's nothing really going on with the Jets, if I'm being honest. I mean, they obviously got a new head coach. Barry Trotz was potentially interested on going to Winnipeg, but who did they end up signing?
Rick
Rick
Bounds.
Bone.
I think that's how you say his
Yes,
last name.
I think so.
Former coach of
Yes,
the Stars.
yeah. So
Former player. He played with the Jets. Thanks
yeah.
to the
So
research I did.
who knows how they're going to come out. They, if I'm not mistaken, they did rip the captaincy from Blake Wheeler.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they might have some trouble in paradise up there that they need to try to figure out. I mean, we saw Scheifele did some pretty questionable plays last season, so I think he's a little bit losing his composure.
They're going
Yeah,
to have a little bit of a rocky go, I think.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. That rounds out the Central Division. Western Conference we've
There
covered.
you go. And we have some other weird notes here.
Yes. It's like weird notes that Rae puts in the
weird notes that Rae puts in here, and she said she had some comments, and
yeah.
based off of the notes I have here, I might be getting pretty defensive here.
So I'm just scrolling on the gram and I see, where's Breezy? Oh, she's at the Kelsea Ballerini concert.
Hell
First of
yeah, I
all,
am.
without me. Second of all, didn't tell me. Third of all, I'm pissed. Fourth of all, how was it?
Oh my God. Phenomenal. She's my favorite human being. I'm obsessed. I am a full-blown official Kelsea stan.
A stan?
Yeah, like obsessive fan.
Obsessive fan? A stan?
Yeah. Do you call them stans?
Why?
You know, like you're like a Barzal stan.
I don't know what that means.
Don't ask me questions because I don't really know either, but that's just what they say.
Okay. Totally.
Obsessed. She's the best.
She's amazing. I love her.
And she's so funny. I have so many videos, and I was so close to her too. And yeah, I don't know if you saw in that picture, we made eye contact like 50 times that night. I felt her looking into my soul, and I was just like, oh my God. Religious experience.
Really? You went to church?
Oh, I went to the Kelsea church, and I have not come back. I've been on a Kelsea hangover since Thursday night.
She's so great.
So great.
Her costumes have gotten even better. So I saw her in Nashville a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. She opened
her little gold little costume with that little cowboy hat. The best one. The best one. She's
kind of people are going to be really mad when I say this, but I think she's like a better, more elevated country version of Taylor Swift. Like
absolutely.
Taylor Swift could have become what Kelsea is if she I don't think she could have. I don't think she has Kelsea energy, but like it's got a little bit of that to me, but Kelsey's very different. Like it's very different, but it's the only thing I could sort of like compare her to.
Yeah, I agree.
I adore her. Oh, did you see though that she's getting divorced?
Oh yeah, it's fine. She's better off without him. Sorry.
Poor thing.
She's going through the ringer. That's for sure. She's going through it. But I think, I mean, they're 10 years difference. He's 10 years older than her. She got married at 23. Like, you knew it wasn't really going to work out. But I think she's living, she's going through it, but she's definitely going to be doing better. So,
yeah, I'm glad to see
we stand with Kels.
We stand with Kels. Kelsea Church.
Gosh, I even gave her a hockey nickname. She's just Ballerini. Valley.
I want you to get just some kind of like blinged out jersey and put like Bally on the back and like a
Oh
picture of
yeah.
her face on the front, like embroidered.
That'd be sick, actually. Custom made Ballerini jersey. I'm down. I'll make it.
Uh she what was I gonna say about her? I don't know. It left. But these are the moments when I see you doing these things that I'm like, damn it. I hate that I live so far away from Breezy because this is the stuff we would be doing together. Like,
Well, she
I
just
would
played
be
in
going with
Boston.
you. I know, but I'm gonna go by myself.
Absolutely worth it.
It's not as fun.
It's not as
Who am I
fun,
gonna
no.
like turn to and sing lyrics with and dance and wear my cowboy boots and
I know.
it's just
Well, when
not the
she goes on
same.
tour again, we'll go together. I will fly to you and we can go somewhere or whatever. And it'll be fun.
All right.
It was only a 10 show tour, so she's only like going to
Yeah.
certain spots and it's
Because this is
basically
her
just like
first solo headlining tour.
yeah, because she only
I
has
think.
George Webster opening for her, who's like a TikTok star, but she sings almost all of her new album and then she sings some old hits, but she didn't get to tour when her last album came out because COVID hit. Like the week her album came out,
And then
she
she
had
went
to
on tour with the Jonas Brothers. Was it the
she
Jonas
did.
Brothers?
Yeah, but it was their tour. She just opened up for them, but it wasn't like her album tour, if that
Right.
makes sense. So
Yeah. Girl,
she's going on
Kelsea.
more. And she's got a Jeep and a dog. Guess who else has a Jeep and a dog?
You
Me. Best
do.
friends.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was smelling salts.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried smelling salts?
No, actually, but I want to. I thought you were talking about smelling salts like the people that like became zombies off of, not
Like the
like the
bath
ones that like hype you
salts?
up. Yeah.
No.
No, I want to try smelling salts, but I can't get them anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never tried to buy them, and I was trying to think, have I ever tried smelling salts or had to have them given to me? And the answer is no. I've never tried
No.
them. I
Maybe I'll
kind of
try to
wanna.
Amazon it. Yeah. Maybe we should do smelling salts before each episode, and then we're just gonna be like amped up. All right,
We're
we're
just
gonna
gonna
get
be.
some, and then next week we're gonna be just a different breed.
We're not even gonna get words out, let alone like be able to
I still
focus.
can't get words out without smelling salt, so I'm good.
Oh. Yeah, but I was curious. Would love to know if anybody else can tell us what they're like. I'm sure that people will like try to equate this to some kind of drug that I've never tried because I've never really been into that. So, you know,
$50 on Amazon.
it seems like kind of a lot.
Seems like kind of a lot too.
Are you getting like a year's supply of smelling salts or what?
No, they're like the medical grade. All right, I gotta look
God.
at this after.
All right. Or you could just smell mustard or eat mustard. Which player was that? I was trying to remember.
Who
One
did
of the
that?
players was on the bench eating a mustard packet.
Those helps
I
with it helps with cramps, yeah. With leg cramps.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
love mustard. It's so good.
that was all I had for my notes. I was like,
All
Kelsea
right.
Ballerini and smelling salts are in my phone in my notes from this week.
Oh man, I'll send you a couple good videos I got of her too. Uh besides the fact. All right, so each season I do a fantasy league with a couple friends. And first of all, I had to pick a name. So I didn't know what to
Ooh.
name. Last season I did House of Hockey podcast because obviously I was trying to, just kind of get us something to do. This season I'm hard to handle and I have fantastic players on my team. But I want to know, is there a specific player that you think would be good for my team? And if they're available, I will add them.
Oh boy. Who should you add? All right, I'm just gonna go with
Let's see.
Kaprizov. Kaprizov.
Okay, I'll see if he's there.
He
I have to
had
see
like
if
a
he's there.
tiny injury in the preseason, so you might want to do a little research. They kept him off the ice for like precaution, but put Kaprizov in there.
Okay. If he's there, I'll get him. If not, I'll try to trade for him. But is there someone also that you think would make or break a team that might be popular that you don't think would perform very well, such as like a Tyler Seguin? Like, should you have Seguin on your roster?
I'm gonna go no with Seguin.
Right. But is there somebody else that you think, like an Ovechkin? Do you think Ovi? He's obviously going to score a lot of goals, so that's probably a bad one to go off of.
I actually wouldn't put Ovi in there.
Wow.
I would do somebody like I would probably lean more towards like the guys who are going to give me a good amount of assists and goals. Like I want
Okay.
those. Well, I don't know how fantasy hockey works with like the point system there. Like I don't know how that works. I only have ever played fantasy football, but um what is it like just amount of goals you get or
No, it
how
kind of
is it
depends.
points?
It
Like the
kind of
points?
depends on how it depends on how like your fantasy league is set up.
Okay.
Some do like head to head and yada yada yada, but it definitely counts like stats.
Okay.
And so you want to always have like your active players active if they're playing a game, because if not, then if they like
Right.
get points, then you're obviously are not going to get them. But I mean, I got a pretty stacked lineup here.
I'd have like a lot of centers. I have a lot of centermen.
But the only problem is that you only get 2 center spots per day. So
Oh,
you have centers, you have left wing, right wing, and 4 defenseman spots. So you
that's
got to
not
be
a
like a
lot.
little tricky. No, and you have to make sure that you are playing like your active players who might be having a good game. Mm-hmm. And so
This
it's a
is
little
why I don't play
tough.
fantasy. I would be stressed
So
out. I would be
I'm
I would be
stressed
a
out.
wreck. I would be a wreck.
I am very stressed out. Yeah.
Who's on your give us your roster real quick.
All right. I have Zibanejad, Kadri, Kyle Connor, Nino Niederreiter, Mark Stone,
Whoa.
Giroux, Dobson, Zach Rosinski. Uh, what's his first name? I don't know. Byram from Colorado.
Bo Byron, right?
Thomas Chabot.
Uh-huh.
I have Braden Shin. I have Jarvis and Perron. And I have Vasilevsky for my goalie.
Excellent. Killer goalie.
Shishkin.
Uh-huh. As your backup?
And
Varlamov?
Varlamov. Did pretty darn good.
You did really good. What's better than that? I
I don't
think
know.
people get like really caught up in the big names, like McDavid maybe McDavid having
Yeah,
McDavid
but you
that'd bring
can't
you a lot of points.
yeah, but you can't like pick up certain players
Right.
because like obviously I'm going around them. I I had to drop though because he was marked as out and I didn't know how long he was going to be out for, and I made a rookie mistake. Jason Robertson, I should have added him back, but he's on waivers right now, so I can't add him back until he clears waivers. So I gotta wait.
Ringo! Who
But
should
anywho,
Breezy add to her roster?
I was just gonna add one in for you, but I don't know. I'll see if he's probably not available, but I'll try.
All right.
I'll
I
try.
like you got a solid team.
We'll see if we do pretty good. Usually, I'm not trying to pump my tires here, but I usually end up being number 1 or number 2 in my fantasy leagues.
How'd you do last year?
Number 1.
You won? So you
Yeah, I was
won.
number 1, but we don't do money though. It's just like bragging rights.
Oh,
Yeah.
girl, you should be putting money on this. You should be on DraftKings every day.
No, because I'm terrible. Because the second I start betting money, then I do bad. That's just my luck.
Wow.
Because I'm a jinx.
I thought we established you weren't, but whatever. That can be up for debate. We'll see what happens. Let's see
Kelsey
what
told me I
happens.
wasn't, so we're fine.
Thanks for coming over to our House of Hockey podcast and hanging out with us. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. And in the meantime, you can follow us on social media. Just look for House of Hockey Podcast.